Hello, good people. This is Holy Word Yancey, and this is Holy Word Yancey Productions. I want to talk about something that is really devastating to the fatherhood of many good and decent brothers out here. There's the flip side of the coin to all this single mother having hard times and all that other stuff. What I want to talk about is something that one of my good close brothers by the name of Edward Jackson, he calls it mental terrorism. And what that is basically is women giving their ex-husbands or ex-boyfriends or whoever they had children with just a hard time when it comes to them being a father, despite them not being together anymore. Don't get me wrong, I understand that there are a lot of women out here that are indeed doing things by themselves, and indeed, you know, the person they had kids with was a deadbeat or whatever. But there's also guys out here who truly love the woman that they had children by. There's guys out here who truly love their kids. And for whatever reason, the woman messed the relationship up or didn't want things to work out. You know, there's scenarios out here where good guys got rejected because the woman wanted the thug. You know, the woman thought the good guy was a lame or that he was born or whatever, and just kicked him to the curb. There's other women out here that got married, or they may have felt like they got married young and just in their marriage just want to go ahead and mess with other guys or whatever. I mean, there's all types of scenarios out here. But usually when you hear of the single mother scenario, it's usually the guy just got her pregnant and he ran off. And that's what mostly people think, and woe was her. But there are cases in which the woman messed up the relationship, and the father still has to have a relationship with her because of the kids, and for whatever reason, she's giving this man hell. Back to this mental terrorism, which is a very true thing. Like I said, there are men out here being persecuted for being a father. One thing that happens is a man is taken for child support. It's a sad thing to have to be taken for child support when a man on his own merit, you know, takes care of his kids. But I'm going to leave that to the side. Back to the child support. A man is taken for child support, and they take the man and the woman's income, and they rule on what is given. And whether you settle in mediation or whether you settle in court, you know, that's what you're paid, what the woman is paid. And the judge, you know, basically the system comes up with the amount that you're supposed to pay. And if the woman is getting this amount and she agreed to that amount, I don't understand why would they tell a man that what he given ain't nothing. And I know know guys that get child support and their women sit and tell them that what they giving ain't nothing. And that's wrong. It seems like a lot of women want to minimize what a man is doing for his children. It seems like nowadays a lot of women just want to be glory hogs. Another thing that women do, even though you're not together, they still try to play mind games with you to see if they can move you, budge you to do things that you need not to do. You know, try to get over on you, ask for money for things because they want to do something else with their money. They still feel like they're entitled to get benefits that they had when they were in a relationship with you. And that's not so the case in some scenarios. Don't get me wrong. I understand there's situations where the guy did the woman wrong and the guy's not doing what he's supposed to do. But there's some situations where a woman needs to chill. And I'll give you an example. Or a sample from real life. There was a couple who was married. And the woman, she was having adulterous affairs. And her and her husband separated. Now the husband tried everything he can to try to save his marriage, but she told him straight up that she was going to still pursue other men and she couldn't help it. So they ended up splitting up. But anyway, there came a time in which the woman was going through some things with her utility bills. And she reached out to her ex-husband saying that she needed help with electric bill. At this point, you know, like I said, they were separated and the man had to get his own place. And the man told her that, look, if you're going to lose your electric, I'll just take the kids. You know, my electric's on and they can stay with me. And she got upset with him because she felt like he was obligated to pay her electric bill. And I understand the brother because they were married. She chose to go ahead and have these adulterous affairs, and you know he had to leave the house and had to get his own house. You know, it was one thing, you know what I mean, if he wasn't doing nothing for his children, but the guy, he's very active in his kids' life. The brother didn't want his family to be separated. You know, he hated the fact that what was going on in his union. It hurted him so. And the brother wasn't wrong, given his situation. You know, she didn't want to be with him. She couldn't be faithful to him, so he had to leave, get his own. He was still taking care of his kids. He was getting them. You know, they were splitting, you know, getting them, you know. He was in his kid's life. He was taking them to school, paying tuition for private school, aftercare, all that. And the brother felt as though, hey, he couldn't pay her electric. He had his own bills. But what he could do is take care of his kids. And this brother was called all types of sorry A's, and his ex hated him. But given the situation, the brother wasn't wrong. There's all sorts of situations. There's also a situation which I like to call ricochet. Ricochet situations is kind of like the movie Ricochet with John Lithgow and Denzel. What was going on in the movie was John Lithgow was doing some crazy things to Denzel. And when Denzel went to go point things out, you know, evidence of him doing something crazy, something happened to him crazy, wasn't there. And it made him look like he was crazy. Like, I'll give you an example. During the movie, Denzel Washington was somewhere, and all of a sudden he had a tape. He popped the tape in the VCR, and he seen John Lithgow in the room with his daughters, brandishing a gun. So he go home from wherever he is, rush down the street, bust to his door. So where the girls at? Where the girls at? And they sound asleep. So let me go further into a ricochet situation, again using a real life scenario. I know of a couple who's divorced, and they make arrangements as far as where to meet to do the exchange of their children. And the brother cannot break that agreement. He has to meet where she says meet, or it's going to be hell to pay. And the brother complies with it. You don't want no trouble. But when it comes to this contract, the woman, the ex, she can break it anytime she wants to. One time in which, and before I go into this, know that the brother and the sister, you know what I mean, they're the ex-husband and wife, they live in different states. So one day during the exchange to drop the kids back off, the brother heads as usual to the spot. She okays it. But on his way to it, all of a sudden, he sends him a text. Keep the kids. Mind you, like I said, the brother's in a different state. She agreed to meet the kids at the usual pickup spot. Brother's on his way. Mind you, the brother lives in a different state. He dropped the kids off at a decent time so they can get rest Sunday night to be ready for school Monday morning. Brother's on his way to do the usual exchange. And on the way, he gets a text telling them to take the kids elsewhere. And it turns out that she was out doing her thing. And regardless of the brother having to get back in time to work, or the kids, you know, having to get to the house and lay down and get well rested for the school Monday morning, she goes out and she does her. And there's a lot of women that do that break contract, no problem. There's guys that get court orders about having their children. Get these court orders and they have to abide by them. You know, they get these court orders and they have to be at such and such a place to meet and get their kids and drop them off at a certain time. And a lot of times, especially in Pennsylvania, if a guy don't keep up with that order, he can get the cops called on him, and he's arrested. But the flip side of that is, a woman can decide, like, okay, I'm not giving my kids up this weekend. I'm going to do something special with the kids my weekend, and I don't got to explain nothing to the father. I'm just going to do what I want to do, and they don't show up at the meeting spot, and nothing happens. And another thing, and I'm speaking as a black man, when it comes to court and domestic relations, a white man can't really get justice. A white man really has to fight tooth and nail, get the best lawyers and all that to really win in domestic court, let alone a black man. And the women know how the system do black men. And the women will really try to roast a man in the system. Mind you, and this is something that I'm seeing, when it comes to guys that really love their kids, women give them the hardest time. When it comes to the guys that really don't give a damn, they don't mess with them so much. They don't bother them with child support. They don't use the kid, as a weapon, but I guess they can't. If a deadbeat don't want to be a father anyway, he's not going to care about seeing his kids. But there's just so many different scenarios that women give a brother a hard time just trying to be a father. And it's not right. It's not right at all. Yeah, that's what my good friend, my brother, Ed Jackson calls it. He calls it mental terrorism. Using kids as a weapon, trying to still see if they can manipulate you, still want to have some sort of control concerning you, even though you're not there in a relation, you're not in a relationship with them. Just in general, just giving a brother a hard time, minimizing what he does for his kids. Have these bouts of entitlement, and don't get me wrong, sometimes it's valid. It's entitlement thing. But let's just say a woman and a man was married, and the woman didn't want to be married and messed the marriage, or let's say she cheated, or let's just say she just straight up just didn't want to be in a marriage anymore, which in the first place the dude ain't put a gun to her head to make her marry him. But there's situations in which women, they mess up a marriage or mess up a relationship, then they go to court, and as usual, whether you're married or you were just a couple, they award the woman custodial custody of the children. So, and the guy, he wanted to be a family. So, it don't matter what he wanted, It is what it is. It is what the woman made the situation. The couple, are no longer together. And the system basically views a man as a paycheck. And they give the woman custodial custody. And though the kids are yours, you have to fight for rights that should naturally be given. A woman who messed up the relationship, all this entitlement, they may feel as though they got the kids most of the time. But some situations, man, they did that to themselves. If you had a man that wanted to be with you, and now you're doing things by yourself and can't get relief when you need to, don't hit that man with, I have him all the time. Because the situation is what the situation is. The situation is what you made it. You know what I mean? Like, I know a couple of brothers, you know, that were family men. They were truly family men. You know, they married the woman. They truly loved that woman they had kids by. The woman didn't want to be in the marriage no more and did the brother dirty, you know? And the brothers got done dirty by the state, you know, like most men do. So the man is reduced to nothing but being a paycheck. And natural rights that should be given, he has to fight for. And the woman is the custodial parent. And the guy is heartbroken and devastated because he don't want to be away from his kids. But the situation is what they made it. So a woman that got that scenario going on, all that entitled stuff that you tired because you got the kids, man, that's on you. You had a good man, you know, you had a good situation with your kids, you know, both of y'all was doing y'all things together, but in your selfishness, stupidity, or whatever issues they got, brought about the situation that the father's not no longer living with them and the kids. You know, don't hit that, oh, I'm tired, you feel as though you can just drop the kids off at a brother's job, or you want to complain to the brother that you're doing mostly everything by yourself, man. I'm sorry to say, but the hell with all that. You know what I mean? The situation is what you made. Straight up. Like I said, I know brothers, man, married women, loved them, loved their kids, want to be family men, just straight up rejected by their wives. Had left their husbands to go pursue guys that ain't got no character, that ain't never really loved them at all. Guys that pumped their head up, the only thing they wanted was the behind, got it, and discarded them. It's crazy. But mental terrorism, people. Mental terrorism. It's a shame that good guys get persecuted for being fathers. And there's so much stuff I can go into. There's so many different scenarios where brothers are persecuted for being good fathers. I think I'll share one more story. Okay. This story is of a husband and wife. They're still married. They basically split their children up. You know? They split their children up. One has them 2 weeks, the other one has them 2 weeks. So basically, they're separated, but they get their son and daughter half the month to themselves. So the son and daughter will be with the mom 2 weeks, and then go be with the father for 2 weeks. Mind you, they're still married. They're just separated. After having this arrangement for a while, the woman moves to another state. It's another job. Mind you, they're splitting everything down the middle with the children's expenses. But the mother moves to the state and she gets brand new on her ex-husband and takes him for child support. Mind you, the brother shouldn't be taken for child support because he's taking care of his kids. But anyway, he's taken for child support, and automatically, you know, the system calls her the custodial parent. You know, automatically, even though he's still married, he's still required to pay child support. And for her to just get up and leave, go to another state, know what I mean? There's no kind of penalties that she has to suffer for just removing the kids. But anyway, she goes ahead and takes his brother for child support when he already takes care of his kids. Mind you, brother takes care of his kids, shouldn't have to be taken for child support. The rest he does for his kids on his own. But anyway, school time pops up, and the brother gets a call from still his wife, who he's separated from. And she's asking him to get school clothes. Mind you, they always, did things like that together, split things down the middle. The brother he had a month in which he got paid 3 times. And regardless of the next month having 2 bi-weekly paychecks, and the month that he was currently in, he had 3 paychecks that month. They took an extra portion of money out of his check that month. Every state is different. I know Pennsylvania don't care. They just gonna keep taking no matter what. I know New Jersey, once you hit your agreed upon limit, they're not gonna take child support out. They're gonna take out only what's required. The brother being newly on child support, and being as though she got 3 installments, and also the fact that the brother knew from mutual friends that she got the kids' school clothes, he told her that the support was sufficient enough. And she quickly dropped that. Okay, then, she said, you're not going to use school clothes. And he said, excuse me, I did use school clothes. Money from my house, money from my paycheck goes to the house towards the kids. So she said, okay, then, well, at least pay for your son's football season's coming up. Again, the brother had an extra portion of child support taken out that month that he would never receive back, which he didn't have a problem with, but what she got was sufficient enough for her to have got the kids' school clothes and paid for the boys' football. So she gets upset. He's all types of sorry, and she hangs up upset. Mind you, though they live in a different state, the brother is still getting his kids every week. He's paying child support, and he's getting his kids every weekend. He's paying her child support, getting his kids, and with everything he's doing, he's being told that it's nothing. Good father, active in his kids' lives, loves his kids. When his kids aren't with him during the week, he Skypes and calls them and prays with them. Often going to petty things with his ex, or soon-to-be ex. When she can't get what she wants out of him, or she's upset with him, she doesn't let him talk to his kids on the phone. So he had to go get his kids' cell phones. But anyway, regardless of her getting child support from this man, she's going to go on Facebook and blow up her boyfriend, saying, thanks, babe, he got my boys' football uniform and everything else, and acting like the money that comes out of his check for child support wasn't efficient enough to handle all that. Mental terrorism. Needless to say, the brother went in because he said he'll be damned if anybody called his good evil. And he went on Facebook and he aired her out about how he had the kids half the time paying for tuition for private school and daycare, and the times where she hit him up for gas money, lying to him about what she needed and other stuff, how she mismanaged food stamps. But when he had them, he was a welfare father, and how he had the kids half the money and she got food stamps, and still when she had them, she talked about she ain't had no food for the kids, which basically was, he aired out that she was giving food stamps to her sister, mother, and whatever, feeding the dude she was with, whatever, with them stamps. There was no way, and she didn't have nothing for her kids with the amount of stamps she was getting. But anyway, it's stuff like that. It's mental terrorism, trying to tear a man down. It's a sample of a good man that didn't want his marriage to fall. You know, the woman didn't want to be with the dude no more, you know? This brother, man, he loved his wife, but she ain't want him. You know, he loved his kids. And regardless of him not being with his wife anymore, he still did what he had to do for his kids. He was still a great father in spite of. You know, he didn't want his scenario. He didn't want his marriage to fall. And the brother was doing what he was supposed to do, but yet the woman still wanted to attack his manhood and attack his character wrongfully. And stuff like that is just wrong. It's almost like a lot of these women want to roast good men for the men that did them dirty. It's almost like women that got daddy issues or got abandonment issues from other men. It's like, man, that hate that they got towards that man that did them wrong. they push that hate toward a man that loves them. And it's a common scenario. But that's it. I'm going past a half an hour with this video. But much love to my single fathers out there who loved their baby mom and did right by them and got done dirty. Love to my single fathers out there that pay their support and spend time with their children. Much love to the single fathers out there that's handling their business and doing their thing, that's being persecuted for trying to be good fathers, that's going through this crap with their exes. That's the flip side of the story. This is Holy Warrior Yancey, and this is Holy Warrior Yancey Productions. I know this story, this video might ruffle some feathers, you know. Also, I know that there's a lot of brothers that can relate to this. Feel free to comment. Feel free to throw a video rebuttal at me. It's all good. Check me out on Blogger Spot, Holy Warrior Yancey 1 at blogspot.com. Much love. Take care.